Reform or ruin? That's the focus of tonight's Angle. For years, we've warned about the Democrats' true motives in leaving the border wide open. Now, it was never an accidental policy. This was done in order to, number one, import cheap labor, and number two, import new Democrats, thus changing the American electorate forever. And yesterday, campaigning for Brad Schimel in that Wisconsin Supreme Court seat, Musk and one of his DOGE colleagues shared what they found at the Social Security Administration.
When we saw these numbers, we were like, what is this? In 21, you see 270,000 people, goes all the way to 2.1 million in 24. These are non-citizens that are getting Social Security numbers.
Yeah, this is a mind-blowing chart.
Yeah, we went there to find fraud, and we found this by accident. Once you're in the country and you've got asylum, you can apply for a work document. You file a 765, it's the work form. You get this form called the 766, that's the authorization, and then Social Security Administration automatically sends you in the mail your Social Security number. No interview, no ID.
Bingo! Social Security number or card. Now, what could go wrong with that? Well, what do you need to show to vote? To register. In many states, a passport or a license or a Social Security card and a utility bill will suffice. Biden's DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas knew very well what he was doing, the great defender of democracy that he is.
People sometimes think that under the Biden administration that he was simply asleep at the switch. No. They weren't asleep at the switch. It was a massive, large-scale program to import as many illegals as possible, ultimately to change the entire voting map of the United States and disenfranchise the American people and make it a permanent, deep blue, one-party state from which there would be no escape.
Of course, those who hate the country and hate the fact that we elected Trump not once but twice, of course, they were desperate to ensure that the country was flooded with millions of mostly illiterate, low-skilled illegals, people who are easily manipulated right up to their party registration. Then came Trump, Elon, and DOGE. And day after day, they're exposing how the federal bureaucracy and its defenders are alternatively conniving and incompetent. It's quite an accomplishment. And if Trump wins these court cases, we'll not only save billions and make the government more efficient, we're going to nail the crooks and frauds who game the system the whole time, including any illegals collecting Social Security or, yes, even voting. Now, remember, New York wanted illegals to vote in their local elections, took a court, ultimately the highest court in New York, to stop that. And the DOGE team's discoveries are as revealing as they are embarrassing. Same with the fear-mongering that Musk specifically refuted.
I guess it would be helpful, because so I can just state it as crisply and clearly as possible, that DOGE will absolutely ensure that people get their Social Security, make sure they get their Social Security, make sure they get their Medicaid, and will not be cutting any legitimate payments whatsoever. Crystal clear.
Of course not. Even the dimmest of dimwits should know that stopping fraud and waste will help save, not destroy, Social Security. And speaking of dimwits, it turns out the anti-Musk astroturf protesters are too stupid to remember their own talking points. Reports over the weekend that many of them were clinging to scripts that I guess they printed off the internet, they got from somewhere. And many of the protesters can be tied back to left-wing groups such as Indivisible, Troublemakers, and something called the Disruption Project. Again, this should come as no surprise. They're throwing everything at Trump and Musk to stop them before they reveal more, before they save more, and before they dismantle more of their prized bureaucracy. Of course, all the slush funds for climate change, population control, and all the trans madness that we've seen. Now, for whatever reason, Republicans, they tend to sit on their butts in off-year elections when Trump's not on the ballot. Well, Elon Musk aims to change that in what is the most expensive judicial race in history in Wisconsin, which will determine who controls the Wisconsin Supreme Court.
If the Supreme Court is able to redraw the districts, they will gerrymander the districts, and deprive Wisconsin of 2 House seats on the Republican side. Yeah, exactly. The result of that could be that the House switches to a Democratic House. Yes, indeed. And then they will try to stop all of the government reforms that we're doing, and we're getting done for you, the American people.
Again, reform means ending the waste, the fraud, and the abuse so we can actually remain solvent and thus free and independent country. But somehow the hard left considers that all to be a threat. Now, this sign captures the idiocy. And this idiocy captures how unhinged they really are.
Bring it on! Bring it on!
Over the weekend, Musk essentially asked Wisconsin voters, do you really want to be aligned with those nuts?
Isn't it shocking how much violence and hatred is coming from the left? They're burning Teslas and shooting up dealerships and calling for the death of the president and me. I'm like, guys, you know, this is insane. Like, they're gone psycho.
Again, think of this study in contrast. You have Trump and Musk, Vance, real reformers who build stuff, versus unhinged radicals who wreck stuff. In 2020, it was looting and burning to honor George Floyd. And now it's arson and graffiti at an Albuquerque GOP headquarters to resist Trump. Oh, and even urging murder to stop ICE.
Shoot at ICE agents on sight. That's right. If ICE agents are trying to take you or a loved one, shoot them on sight. The way they're pulling up, with masks on, with unmarked vehicles, no badge, no nothing, it could be anybody. It can be gang members. You have every right to shoot at them.
Why aren't the Democrats condemning this insanity? Now, most of them, when the camera's in front of them, they're remaining mute. And that should tell you all you need to know about how you should vote in these mid-year, off-year elections. And that's The Angle.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.